Working? You got working?
Huh?
You have working?
I'm waiting for Brad, dude. He's not responding.
You're broadcasting right now.
Yeah, I know.
It's on. Oh, baby. Cool. I think people can hop on and see it.
Yeah, they can right now, I think. I probably should mute it. All right, everyone. Thank you for taking the time out to get on the call tonight. We are going to start in about 5 minutes as the lines pack up, as we promote the call. And as people get on this line in this webinar here, we're going to wait for about 5 more minutes. Me and then Mr. Brad Alcazan are going to kind of explain to you why, if you're new, your friend invited you on the call, whether it's on a business standpoint, whether it's on a health standpoint, a time standpoint, or a skill set standpoint, but understand the person that invited you to this call, right? They see something in you and they thought that what we have going on here could be a good fit, and that you either need it or would be really, really good at, what we got going on, and that can really help you out in your situation. So in about 5 minutes, we're going to kind of take you A through Z on how, and if you want to shoot me a text, make sure I'm coming in clear. We're up in Castro Valley, Northern California, kind of in the sticks, but the service seems to be pretty clear. We're going to get started in about 5 minutes. And I'll kind of introduce you to the speakers, and you guys will get an idea what's going on. So just sit tight. All right, guys, we're going to get this kicked off. I'm excited to kind of share my story with everyone on the call, kind of explain, what has been a big impact in my life, kind of how it changed my life, but most importantly, what it can do for you, and the newest person. If you're new to the call, we'll be on here for about 20 minutes, and towards the end of the call, we are experiencing a little bit of technical difficulties, but we should be blessed with actually the presence of my mentor, someone who's extremely successful in the business, kind of share his vision with what we got going on. So real quick, My name is Brandon Bozarth, right? And I grew up in Half Moon Bay, California, which is like farm town slash surf town. And I was raised to, go to school, get good grades, and earn a living. I think a lot of people on the call can kind of relate to that. But what I'm trying to get at is I was never encouraged to do something different, right? I was never really encouraged to go own my own business or work for myself or travel the world or give back, right? I had this really narrow kind of mindset to where I thought there was only one way I can go about making money. And what I want to do for you guys, right, is help give you an understanding, right, that there is a different way. And hopefully through my story and, through the explanation of what this can do for you, you could understand something that, if done correctly, can give you either a part-time income, right, a full-time income, just a healthy alternative, right, or a skill set that we feel can be applied anywhere in business and anywhere in life, which is really cool. So like I said, I started this business about a year ago, grew up in Half Moon Bay, went off to high school, a pretty average kid, right? Graduated at 2.5, not the best. And I went off to college. And I remember at that point kind of being a kid that really didn't have a lot of direction, right? I didn't know what I wanted after college. And I feel like everyone on this call kind of wants the same thing, right? You want to be happy. You want to feel fulfilled, right? You want to spend time with people that you care about, right? And you don't want money to be an issue in your life like it is in so many marriages and just society today, right? So I knew what I wanted. I just couldn't find a job title that really fit that description, right? And me in school, we really didn't get along. To be honest, I was in school majoring in girls and minoring in partying. That was really all I did and cared about. And my grades started to drop, right? Expectedly. I had about a 1.8 at one point, which it's pretty hard to do. You have to try, right, to get bad grades. So my grades were dropping. I had no direction, and I had really no interest or sense of what I wanted through school and through, a traditional job. And at that point, I really started to look at other options, right? I started to realize that success really is a minority. I pictured someone that was maybe 40, 45, or 50 living the life that I wanted to live. And it was a minority of people that I thought about. It wasn't really my parents. It wasn't really my friends or family or extended family. And I realized I might have been taking advice from the wrong people. And if I wanted something different, right, something different than that group of people, I had to do something different than most people, right? And what happened one day when my buddy Andy got a wrong number phone call, literally everything changed, right? I went from a college kid working 2 jobs, right, having no direction, to where I am now, right? Hundreds of people, right, in this organization. I've gotten to do a lot of cool things that a lot of 22-year-old people or kids, college kids, can't do, right? I was in Guatemala a few months back, building houses for people out there, paid by for the company. And it's been a really life-changing experience for me. And it all happened, right, when I was in class, and my buddy Andy, also when he was in a class, right, he stepped out, got a wrong number phone call. And that's how everything changed for me. So I really think everything happens for a reason. I encourage you guys to keep an open mind, because I know if my buddy Andy had a closed mind on that wrong number phone call, I wouldn't be here, and a lot of people on the call wouldn't be here as well, right? So Andy picks up this phone call, and he was told about some way that college kids are creating this movement, right, within this company all around a healthy alternative to products that we already spend money on, and spreading that message, right, spreading the possibility and spreading the message of health and helping people. They were able to grow an income and create a lifestyle that I wanted, right? And what he told me word for word, and if you're on the call right now, I want you to picture, right, somebody that you trust but you don't respect as far as business, somebody that is maybe your drinking buddy, your party buddy, right? And someone that you really have a good time with, but if they tried to educate you on making money or making a living or making a fortune, you would probably laugh, right? And that's how Andy was to me, right? He picks up this wrong number phone call. On the other end is a guy named Ryan Darrow, which is now one of my great friends, right? And he was, this business idea and this concept was explained to him. He got so excited that he started right there. And he called me on the phone and word for word said, Brandon, I found a way in the next 5-6 years that we're going to make hundreds of thousands of dollars. Now, what would any logical person, right, if you're sitting here, what would you say to your good friend, your drinking buddy, if he told you that? I'll tell you what I said. I said, Andy, you owe me $9. Why don't you pay me that back first, and then we'll talk about a way that we're going to make a lot of money. And I completely ignored him. I brushed it off, and I didn't believe him, right? And I thank God that he persisted and pursued educated me on the business. What he did was he drove about 3.5 hours from Chico State to Half Moon Bay, right, to come and give me a verve and come and show me what was going on and explain to me the business model. And I have to admit, as soon as he started explaining how the industry worked, what this movement is about, and what it can do for somebody, there was no question. There was not a question in my mind whether or not I was going to be successful at this. And I knew that this was something that, with or without me, was going to work, will work. And if it wasn't me, it was going to be someone else, probably my age, probably from my school, maybe even sitting in my class, that this was going to click with, and they were going to go on to be part of a movement and a trend, right, that could be a huge game changer for them. Right. So I heard him out. And what Andy did is he explained the business model, and it made perfect sense. And I have yet to meet somebody that couldn't agree more on on how logical, right, network marketing, this industry of social network marketing is. And that's what I'm going to explain to you guys right now. Andy told me, he said, look, over the last 30 years, right, traditional business, the way they went about creating revenue, right, and building their brand and their business was they would create a supply of a product. And I think everyone in this call knows what I'm talking about, right? This is some simple stuff. They create a supply of a product, right? Let's say they create watches, right? From there, the traditional form, right, or the traditional way of getting that product into the hands of the consumer was to pay billboards, right, to pay ads, banners, brochures, right, but most importantly, commercials, right? And in the 80s and the 90s, right, the primary way people went out there and bought and sold was from these commercials and ads and newspapers and whatnot. And that's what companies would do. They would create a product, spend money on advertising, and then people would buy the product. Right now, what's happening now, just not only in this space, not only in the network marketing space, which is a $170 billion industry, right, worldwide, has over 61 million people involved, and has created more millionaires than any other industry besides pro sports, right? Not only in just that industry, but in all of business, we are now starting to move to more of a model of word of mouth advertising, right? Because of social media and because of technology. Why would someone spend money on a commercial when people our age are skipping commercials with TiVo, right? Or we're skipping YouTube ads, right? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, skip. And no one on the call, I promise you this, is excited to see what billboard, right, they're going to drive past this morning, because you probably don't even see them. You're probably texting and driving or Snapchat and driving, which is dangerous, and I don't recommend it, right? So traditional forms of advertising, because of technology, because of the power of word of mouth, is starting to become obsolete, right? And what this industry does is it pays people like us, normal people, to be that force, right? To go out there and create that demand, to go out there and create those consumers, to go out there and create a network, right, of people consuming the product, using the power of word of mouth, using things like Facebook, using technology, right, to go out there and build a business. And I figured this, right, when I heard it for the first time, I figured if young people are the best networkers on the planet, right, we can create AIM, Instant Messenger, and then we went to MySpace, then we created Facebook. If we are the best networkers on the planet, and we're the most socially connected generation on the planet, if we are good at networking, we're probably going to make excellent network marketers, right? And we just so happen to have this platform of network marketing available to us, but we are the first ever company to actually utilize young people and use the power that we have of networking naturally. So, So when I understood that, right, I understood the potential and the advantage that we would have in the marketplace. And I said, okay, if young people, right, if this industry was built to 170 billion, majority from parents with no cell phones, and they like their own Facebook statuses on Facebook, right, then we're going to be a lot better than our parents. And for two, I started looking at what my friends were doing and how successful they were. And I realized one thing, that yes, we're looking for people, but people are looking for this, right? I think everyone can agree that right now, as a generation, we've been dealt bad cards in terms of the economy. Not our fault, but it is our fault if we don't do anything about it. And this is us doing something about it, right? This is us saying, I'm not going to go to school to take out student loans, right, to pay for courses that are preparing me for jobs that no longer exist, because that is that's what's happening today, right? There'll be 12 million graduates and only 4 million new jobs. Student loans is now the #1 debt in America, right? And if you do land a job with your degree, on average, you're making 30 grand a year. And if you have yet to obtain a degree, you're probably working minimum wage. So what did I realize? If I didn't want those things, they're just fine, right? Those things are fine. A lot of my friends are happy, with their job and whatnot, right? But it wasn't for me. And if I didn't want that, I had to do something different. And this is how I put it together. I said, if network marketing has never seen young people, and we're going to be naturally talented at networking, and we all are looking and in need of a different way to make money, why don't we just create a product that actually relates to us? How about a product that we already spend money on, and then learn how to build this business? And that's exactly what happened in the company, right? About 3 years ago, they came out with a product called Verve, which is a healthy energy drink, something that we can relate to and spend money on. It cures hangovers, so college kids love it, right? And as soon as that happened, the company went boom, right? The company itself is called Vima. Okay, it's a health and wellness company, started about 10 years ago in Scottsdale, Arizona. All right, what we have, to sum it up, right, because I don't want to chew your guys' ears off, and what we're going to do is actually give you guys a link, right, the person that got you on board, so you could understand more about the product and more about, the clinical studies. But what Vima is, to sum up, is the most complete liquid nutritional program on the market. And that was by Men's Health Journal, which rated us the overall liquid supplement by Men's Health, right? Our CEO has actually won a Stevie Award, and it was the same award, CEO of the Year, that Steve Jobs won. And he's actually the only network marketing CEO professional to ever win an award like that, right? And we're also the official drink of the Phoenix Suns, and Verve has been on Dr. Oz a few times. So there's no question about the credibility of the company, right? The products are clinically studied and proven, right, to help reduce signs of arthritis, right, diabetes, reduce inflammation, and a series of other health benefits that you guys can kind of check out, from a product standpoint, right? So I started believing in the company and the products, right, and the movement behind it. And that's really all it did for me. And that's really what it's doing for a generation, right? As I said, Verve got dropped in the hands of young people, and what happened? The company went boom, because this has never happened before. Really, on this scale, there's never been a company to use the power of young people, and that's why it is so effective, and that's why it's working so well, right? We went from about 80 million in sales to about 121 million, and then to about 220 million. And this year, as a company, we're projected to land around 350 million in sales, right? So the company is growing exponentially, and this is what I saw. I saw companies in this space that get big, they get huge. Amway does 12 billion a year. That is more than the entire NBA. And that one company, right, has created 2,000 seven-figure income earners, and they really got big in the 60s, 70s, and 80s with middle-aged moms and household cleaning supplies. And I figured if they can do that, we can probably do that faster, right? And I saw how the company was going to billions in sales. And if you're sitting on the call tonight and you're new, I promise you this: if it's not you, then somebody else is going to see what we see, and they're going to be a part of the biggest movement in network marketing history, done by network marketing young professionals, which has never happened before. And I promise you this: the first one is the last one, right? The sequel's never the best as the original. It's never better. And that's why we're so excited. And our goal is not for you to buy Verve. Our goal is to teach you, right, how to either get Verve for free, right, and save money, create a part-time income, right, or create a full-time income, whatever it is. Because if you're growing, we're growing, right? So I'm very, very excited. And to kind of wrap up my story and kind of let you guys know how to get started, when I got on board, the first thing that I did is I got my website up, which is my online business, which is kind of like an Amazon and Facebook combined. From there, I became a product consumer, right? And how these companies work is they pay back 50 cents on the dollar to the consumer based on the size of the network that we grow, right? Maybe you could think of it as the size of the friends list or of the consumer list of the products that we grow. So we don't actually have to directly, sell it. And I was happy to hear that, I don't have to be a salesman, because then I'd be part of the NFL, which is the no friends list, right? And we operate a lot more modern and a lot differently, right? So we are paid consumers. We get paid to consume the drink and refer other people to do the same, right? So I got started, and I got about 6 of my friends on board, right, in my first month. 6 friends out of my whole Facebook, my whole phone book, right? They all spent money on this stuff anyway. It was all unhealthy, like Red Bull, Rockstar, Monster, right? And they all needed a different way to make money. So in my eyes, everyone fit the criteria, and everyone can benefit from what we're doing, right? I got 6 of my good friends on board. You know, after getting those 6 on board, I actually made a little over $1,000. And for me, being 21 years old at the time, I thought that was something that, you know, Jay-Z made, or, you know, that type of money in a week was huge for me. And that was the first brick. That was the belief that I needed to really make the decision that I was going to take this as far as, you know, I could. Because in the beginning, I didn't intend to take it, you know, full time. And I really, you know, had no idea where this thing could go. But after that first brick, I knew if I could teach people how to do that, and teach other people, and they teach, that we can create a big organization. That's what happened, right? In about my first 4 months, we took those 6 people and we grew to a team of about 200, right? And in that time frame, I had 2 jobs, right? And I was making minimum wage at both, at 2 gyms, and I was in school. And I was able to start this business part-time, a few hours a week, with the intention to just replace my 2 jobs. That was my intention in the beginning. So my income from my job was here. Vima income was here, right? I put a few hours in a week, and slowly by month 3, they matched each other, right? And then by month 4, my income in Vima actually surpassed my full-time income, and I was able to drop both of my jobs, and I decided to take this full-time, and that's what I've been doing and pursuing ever since. So that's my story. I'm excited for the newest person. If something clicked, you know, we'll get on and kind of explain how to get started, but very simply, how to get started and kind of what's possible by the numbers. Okay, having about 90 orders in your business, you're at a $800 to $1,500 a month income. And that's a life changer for a lot of young people. And let me tell you how, you know, simple it is to get there, right? It's not 90 people that you get involved personally, right? Say you get 3 people involved on the product, right? Maybe just a customer, people that want to build the business, whatever. You get 3 people involved. Help those 3 find 3, you're at 9 people. You help those 9 find 3, you're at 27. Let's say it took you 3 months to do that. And every month, right, you're just helping those 3 get 3 on board. By month 4, you have close to 90 people in your business, right? And you're at a company paid car level, you know, making, for most people, it can be a full-time, start off as a part-time, but become a full-time income. And that's what I did in 4 months. Now, to take that one step further, if you're a big thinker and you really see what we really have going on, and you really study the industry, you see how it's backed by Donald Trump, Robert Kiyosaki, right, and a lot of other multi-millionaires and billionaires, then maybe you want to take it further, right? At 1,000 orders in your business, at 1,000 people, you're making a 6-figure income. Now, let's say your first year, you only get 10 people on board. Year 1, at the end of that year, you didn't make a lot of money, right? Let's say year 2, you help those 10 do what you did in year 1. You help those 10, each of them find 10 each in year 2. At the end of year 2, you have a company car, and I'll kind of explain how that works. And you're at the rank called Diamond, which is the $800 to $1,500 a month. Still not, you know, too impressive. Year 3, you're helping those 100 find 10 each. You're at 1,000 people in your group. That's $2,000 a week. That's a 6-figure income. And that right there is a 3-year plan where you could start part-time, right? And in 3 years, own an asset, right? Which is going to pay you regardless of the time you put in, right? Which is a business, which is a form of residual income, right? Which you can walk away from, and it's paying you, right? Every week in 3 years. Now, me being 21 at the time when I heard that, I thought, where else am I going to go as a 21-year-old kid, no background in business, no special skills, a 1.8, 2 jobs, and broke to go build a business? And guys, I'll tell you what, this was it. Hands down, this was it. I fell in love with the product. I fell in love with the people. I fell in love with the process. And if something clicked for you, get back with the person that brought you on here, because I'll tell you what, the person that got you on this call, they're all part of my organization and a couple other, you know, good friends of mine organization. And we don't have plans to be average. We have plans to be great, right? We're not here to compete, right? We're here to blow it out of the water. And if you want to take it serious, right, and you want to run, then, you know, you may have stumbled upon something that can seriously change your situation. Okay, so that's it for me. I hope you guys got a lot of value on this call. I did receive a few text messages from Brad. He's having a little technical difficulties, but he will be tuning in with us every single Thursday from here on out, and a lot to look forward to. So thanks again for taking the time out to get on the call. Your time is very valuable, and we appreciate that. And we look forward to teaming up with you. So thanks again.